What do you get out of thinking you know why you're here? Confidence, soundness of mind, lack of confusion and fear of the unknown, um, a foundation to stand on to begin then building upon brick by brick a theory of everything, which I've done and I've been able to demonstrate several times in several different ways. So basically, knowing why you're here is a solid rock that you can then stand on psychologically. And once you have a solid foundation, then all thoughts built up from that place can be sound, because at no point in the thought hierarchy or thought tree was there any error where when people push at the tree falls apart because you started out with a lie. So if you see clearly there is a God, obviously, then suddenly that leads to a lot of conclusions. What does he want? So now you're asking the right questions. What does God want? How can I please him or get rewarded by him? Because I'd rather have reward than bad stuff, right? He obviously knows more than me if he created everything. So there's your humility right there. And it just goes on and on and on. It humbles you. It causes you to think about things a little more seriously. It makes your mind more sober and not like just kind of hazy and wondering fuzzy and thinking all this weird stuff and no self-control. It makes things a little bit more logical and orderly, and it orders your mind. It makes your mind less cluttered and confused. It makes your mind real sharp. Yeah, so you say it's more useful to learn how to just be happy, as though not knowing why you're here is the recipe to learning how to be happy, which is a logical fallacy. Because what I'm stating is that knowing why you're here produces in you a desire to actually do things that are right instead of wrong, because you believe you're held accountable and you believe that there's a meaning or purpose at all. And if you understand the purpose, then you also understand that doing good is the purpose among many others. And doing good begets happiness. But here's the problem. If you don't believe in a God, then you don't believe in any necessary purpose for anything. And if nothing matters anyways, then you're just going to experiment as shots in the dark. So if there's no purpose and nothing matters anyways, why not kill your neighbor? It might be fun, seeing them scream, chasing them down. It might be an adrenaline rush. Whatever pleasure you feel, whether short term or long, would be justifiable if nothing matters anyways. But once you know there's a God and you know that right is right and wrong is wrong, then you're not going to do things that are wrong just out of boredom, because you believe you'll be held accountable and you believe there is karma. So karma is just another way of saying you reap what you sow, which is a biblical idea. Karma's a term from another religion copied from the biblical idea. They mean the same thing. Karma means justice. It means that if you do something wrong, you're going to pay a penalty for it, because that's justice. Now, if you do stuff wrong and don't get penalized, that's unjust. So therein lies the problem. I've done too much stuff wrong and I haven't been punished enough. So now you're in a plight where you've racked up a wrongness debt. You feel bad and you feel, if there were a God, I'm unworthy and I'm screwed because I can't go before him. And you can't if you feel that way, because you wouldn't be able to face him. You'd feel too bad. You'd say, he's too good, I cannot, I don't deserve this. You would run away yourself. He wouldn't push you away. You would yourself run into outer darkness in the afterlife by your own choice. It wouldn't be like you'd want to be before a perfect God when you feel like a piece of trash. So then the only way to actually face God is to believe and receive the truth that God actually died to pay the price for what you did wrong. Only in believing that, he's not interested now in holding you to your wrong, and it's bygones be bygones. Then do you feel the freedom to walk before a perfect God without a guilty conscience and just feel comfortable in his presence. So now you get to be with God in utopia. So what you are teaching here or expressing in your heart is that it is possible to learn how to be happy all the time while believing nothing has a consequence. And I can tell you this, if you believe nothing has a consequence and you just do whatever you feel like, you're going to learn pretty quickly eventually, depending on how stubborn and ignorant you are, you're going to learn eventually that it's not best to do the wrong thing. It's better to do and best to do the right thing every time. And so the right thing becomes the rule. The wrong thing becomes the opposite of the rule. And doing the right thing every time makes you feel good because you know you're a person that does the right thing to the best of your knowledge. And so you go throughout your life always doing the right thing to the best of your knowledge, and you receive correction and you grow in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And you always feel a clean conscience because you always know you're doing the best to do the right thing as according to your understanding of right from wrong. And so you're a follower of the way, which is a follower of doing things that are true and right and good. That's being a follower of the way. Jesus is called the way. So symbolically, you are now a follower of doing the right thing. Jesus, as I said, is a metaphorical language that God gave us to teach us a lesson. And God did it literally to also touch hearts and be really encouraging and cool. So if you want to actually make a use of your mind, rather than have a mind that's behaving uselessly, then you must pursue wisdom. And wisdom begets good choices, which beget a clear conscience, which beget genuine deep happiness. If you don't have wisdom and you deny anything has a purpose, then every action you take is just a Hail Mary, and then a lot of the times you just reap the benefits of doing dumb stuff, and you end up in jail or killed or something, and you end up miserable all the time, and you feel like an idiot because you're acting like an idiot. And when you feel like an idiot and you don't know what to do, it makes you very unstable, and it makes you very depressed, and it makes you feel very lost. Better to work on accepting it than trying to just find out how to be happy. I'm not sure what you're referring to, but my understanding of that is it's better to work on accepting that you'll never know your purpose, and then just try to figure out how to be happy. And what I'm telling you is that's a fallacy. Again, because accepting that you'll never know your purpose means you're going to accept that because you'll never know your purpose, you're always going to be in doubt about everything. And a man filled with doubt can't be sure of anything, and you end up just being an unconfident, wishy-washy, double-minded person who's just kind of giving everything a Hail Mary, just whatever, I'm not even sure what's going on. And then thinking that that produces happiness is an error. Because you doing things randomly, not thinking it matters, are going to just end up hurting you, and you're not going to be as happy as you could have been if you did everything very purposefully as doing it only according to what you think is best in order to please a God who taught you that doing the best thing is good. So at the very least, take my advice to always do the best thing. Then you're on a good path and you're going to avoid a lot of hiccups, even if you don't want to read the Bible. But I'm saying that if you want to become wise, then the Bible is probably the best. More than probably. The Bible is, according to my belief, for sure the best avenue or tool to become extremely wise to the uttermost, which will benefit you and everyone around you tremendously and bring you and everyone around you great pleasure. Because a wise man is a pleasure to deal with because they make good choices.